Am I echoing? Or can you
Yes.
hear me to you? But can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gloria. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Mars Sussex chapter. Tonight with Lauren, sorry, Lauren. Tonight we have Cecilia and Esteves talking about breaking language barriers, how assistive technology empowers bilingual learners. I'm very excited to hear what you have to say and learn lots of new things. So, yeah, if you're ready, I think we could start. Is that okay, Lauren? We're good? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna turn the mic off.
Okay, so hi, my name is Cecilia Esteves. I am a bilingual special education teacher at the Morris School District. I have worked with the Morris School District for now a little over 11 years, and I, of course, have had a career prior to this. This is my second calling. I worked in nonprofit and in corporate and in private prior to this. I'm excited about presenting to you the tools that have been successful in my instruction, and I wanted to share those with you. And Gloria had spoken to me with regard to participating, and I think that I can bring some good information, and I'd like to start sharing that with you if it's okay. Okay. So, welcome. I would like to share my screen with you at this time. Let's see how I do this. This is my first time, so I'm going to try to navigate through this as we start. And I do have my assistant here, Gloria. So, yeah, I don't know why it came out. This is where I am.
Go here.
Maybe I go here. Okay, here I am. And then I go there, and then share. Yeah, right there. Why isn't it showing up? So I had it here. I can't see it there.
Let me share.
It looks like that's what's, I mean, I do have it here. Just give me 1 second. Thanks for your patience. I'm just trying to navigate this new technology that Gloria has introduced me to. Unfortunately, I can't quite get into it, so I'm gonna have to resort to Gloria.
Okay.
Gloria's going to then,
Let me turn on my mic.
okay,
Turn off yours for a minute. Hi, sorry, you guys. Am I able to share, Lauren? Should I just try?
Yes, you should be able to. I can also put it on here that participants
Okay, it's,
are allowed to share,
okay.
like everybody, and
Oh,
see.
yeah, if you do that, because it says I can't right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a request to share.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, no, did I close this up? Am I still on?
you sound like you're still on, but I don't know if it's, yeah. Because I turned on my book, so that has to be yours.
Am I still on? Sorry. Yeah.
While she navigates that, I could start talking to you a little bit about what I'm going to be presenting and what the purpose of this session is. First of all, I wanted to, the most important goal here with breaking language barriers. Are you hearing the echo the way I hear it or no? Lauren, can you hear the echo?
It's okay though, I think.
I think you're
Just until
talking
we
through somebody else's
Yeah.
screen, so that's why it's hard for us to hear you.
I think you're
You
right.
need to unmute yourself, and maybe Gloria needs to mute herself. Not sure.
Thank you so much. That's what I'll do.
Okay, so here, sorry.
So you're gonna mute yourself and then I will.
See. Not what I wanted.
So today we're going to be talking about assistive technology and,
Sorry.
and how to bridge the gap for bilingual learners. The goal isn't just to give them gadgets to, what we want to do is to make sure that their intelligence isn't hidden behind any type of language barriers. We're going to take a look now at how these tools actually work in the classroom. Slide 2. So today we're moving beyond survival translation. We're going to look at, is your microphone on? The survival mode. We're going to look at specific teacher tested tools that fit right into our daily elementary routines. These things that help our bilingual learners navigate everything from morning meetings to independent centers. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to increase access and engagement and achievement. So what does that mean? It means our ultimate goal is simple. We want to level the playing field, and we've heard that before, and that's essential to English language learners, especially. By removing the language hurdles, we give the students the access that they deserve and the engagement that they crave and achieve, and the achievement that we know that they're capable of. Because, you know, we realize that at the end of the day, it's about seeing the smiles and the sparks and the connections that we make with students. And technology can bring that confidence to the child. So why language barriers matter? Well, one is it impacts comprehension and participation. When we look at an English language learner, we're looking at a student that is working double as hard to access their understanding of the knowledge that we're presenting. What we don't want to get involved in what we want to make sure we achieve with the child is that we're accessing their cognitive ability and that we're not silencing the gap that they have. We want to get their cognitive ability, expose that, let them feel confident with that. We're not there to test their ability in certain arenas, certain domains, such as sciences and social studies. We want to make sure that that they understand the content and then have the ability through assistive technology to access the language, their second language. So that's an extremely important component for to remove the language barriers. We have to watch out for those false lows. Too often when we're testing a student's mastery of math and science, we accidentally are testing for English as opposed to the knowledge of science and social studies. So we need to keep our focus on those things. So if in a science class, they can be using assistive technology that they don't have to support the teacher that may be monolingual, those are avenues that assistive technology can bridge the gap for our population. It also, we know, and I have seen, and Mrs. Gumong has seen, how assistive technology influences confidence and engagement. When the language barriers are too high, they tend to get the affective filter, which means their anxiety goes up, the student shuts down, and they tend to try to protect their self-esteem. When we provide assistive technology, we take that barrier away from them. And so we know that now that we kind of have an understanding of what it means for what the language barriers mean, and now we need to move towards who are our language learners. We know that our students are not one size fits all. They don't look, speak, learn in the same way. They are unique. They're unique as the neighbors in our neighborhood, as the neighborhoods that they come from. They are diverse cultural. So when we talk about diverse cultural and linguistic background, they bring a whole world of home knowledge with them, whether they speak Spanish, Arabic, Tagalog, They aren't just learning English, they're blending their heritage and they're blending their heritage with the classroom community. And that's what we want for our students. We want them to feel that the Spanish isn't a barrier, but it is a tool that isn't an obstacle, but an asset. And we know that people, professionals in the field that have studies such as Jim Cummings, he mentioned the fact that home language is not it is an asset, it is not a defect or an obstacle. And that's the way we need to look at our bilingual students and have them understand that their language is not a hindrance. Their language is a tool that they can use to access their learning of another language and to embrace their first language the way they are going to embrace their second language. We have newcomers, and this is the situation that we have now. When Jim Cummings first started his methodology, he mentioned things such as meeting the child where they are, right? He talked about people that came from an educated background and understanding where they were. We have a very different population now. We have a population that sometimes comes to us and they're newcomers that have a very limited educational background. The population that our district deals with primarily is that triangle. It's the Northern Triangle that consists of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. This population is coming to the United States with some education, and some others are coming with no or extremely limited. So now now it's the appearance of what bilingual education used to look like under the methodology of Jim Cummings is slightly different than it was then. It is now we're looking at students that are all over the educational spectrum. And how do we address those things? We don't want to stop the child that has the educational background from pushing forward, but we also have to meet the needs of the child that has limited or no educational background. So that's where assistive technology comes into play. And that's how we try to level the playing field. So that's slide 5. So what is assistive technology? Well, when we hear the word assistive technology, we often think of specialized hardware, but in our classrooms, assistive technology is any tool that levels the playing field. So whether it be the grip on a pencil, assistive technology, or it's the actual platforms that we use, that's assistive technology. It is leveling the playing field, whether it's through tools such as text-to-speech, which we will be talking about in a few minutes, or it is boards that are used so that students can write and that it helps them with their wrist ability. And it's so there's all different types of assistive technology. And again, assistive technology is basically kind of like the GPS that helps our students kind of navigate a lesson and when they're kind of getting lost in the language. And that's important for us. Tools that support learning by removing barriers. Think of these digital scaffolds. Think of the digital scaffolds, whether it's a visual dictionary or a text-to-speech feature. These tools do not do the work for the student. They remove the obstacles that are standing in the way of the student doing the work themselves. And you'll hear me repeat this because sometimes teachers think that these are crutches for the students. What we need to do is understand this is a new world. Technology is part of our new world. And we have at our fingertips things that can level and help students attain the language, whereas we had not been able to do in the past. We need to take advantage of assistive technology and make sure that our students are doing the same and then pushing them forward. Let's take a look at translation tools. One of the translation tools that I use and I had in my slides that I was going to share with you is English to Spanish. Now, these are all translation tools. Again, they are to aid the student, and they have been a game changer in my classroom. And the reason why they've been a game changer is because it allows the students to feel confident, independent, and understand that their cognitive ability is still intact. It's just that they have to learn a new language, but that they have all the skills they have within them with Spanish, so they can use that to help them with their English. If you could put up English to Spanish, I'm going to give the audience an example of how I utilize just a simple platform as English to Spanish to assist my students in everyday instruction. So just go to, open a window, go to English to Spanish, and then I can show them what we do.
Okay.
How's everybody out there doing?
What did I do? Okay.
Don't be like my students. I don't want to have to say crickets.
Okay, just Google English to Spanish.
So what I use here is something as simple as this. It allows the student to actually engage in writing. So let's say, for example, I want to say to the student understands the question, can a dog bark? They understand what the question is, but they don't know how to write the sentence. So what they'll do is they will switch from Spanish to English. And let's say, as I mentioned, that the lessons, can a dog bark? Then they would respond.
My mic's
And I'm going to do it onto this side. So just,
so much in the mic on.
yeah. My audio is not on. So it's really on. We would do something as follows. El perro puede ladrar. So now they feel like they feel independent, empowered. They're like, I have the intelligence. All I have to do is understand the language. So then this enables them to write. So we're not just using English to Spanish to use sentences. And as they use these sentences in Spanish and it's translated into English, they're writing it down. That's instructional. They see the way the sentences are set up, uppercase letter, periods, same way they would in Spanish, but now they're taking a look at how the sentence is, how the syntax of the sentence is developed and how it should flow. And the more we do that, the better it gets. But not only can we do that, we can ask for how to say the word. So what does that do? That enables them to sit, instead of back in the day when they had to try to figure it out in a dictionary, they could just go into English to Spanish, which is accessible to all our students, even if the districts are not necessarily allowing, or don't have text to speech or speech to text, or they don't have other assistive technologies that would enable this kind of work to be done. So you could do sentences on this. They can then look up words on this. There is a multitude of things that they can use, and also it develops their confidence. So yes, language translation is essential.
Sorry, you guys, my goodness.
So as we're navigating this money, now as we're navigating, here's my, so basically, we also have to recognize the fact that sometimes is this yours or mine? This yours, right? You have to recognize the fact that a lot of our students may not have internet in their house. So if they don't have internet in their house, how are they going to be able to use Google Translate, Microsoft Translate, or any of these other platforms, English to Spanish? Well, most people, 98% of our population has, no matter what economic barriers they have cell phones. Those cell phones are to be utilized, again, to level the playing field. How can they use those? They just go into Siri and say, hey, Siri, how do you say in English? And they can then use those. What we have to do as teachers is make sure we introduce those things to the students so that they can then utilize them. The next slide. So of course we have all these other platforms, Could you just, is there any way to straighten that out slightly? Okay.
So,
I'm gonna try to see what. This is,
oh, there it is.
Okay.
What did I do?
just bear with us as we're navigating through this, the technical piece.
Better? No.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because I think I'll be able to do this. Okay, so in the reading for an EL student, a full page. So this is another component of assistive technology. Many of you may be very familiar with this form of assistive technology, which is speech to text, predictive text, or of course, again, assistive technology doesn't mean something that's necessarily on the computer. It could be just a word bank or sentence starters, or for me, one of the things I utilize a lot is a sentence paragraph. We got it. Try to meet the child where they are and try to help them get to a place where we can start peeling back and, as we scaffold with them, then begin, they use the assistive technology, we start to pull back these scaffolds for them. But of course, speech to text is exactly what it says, which is you talk, and it will then write what the words you have. Also, predictive text is when, if you see on the image that I have on the slide here, it is the one that says I use and so the student might write as close as possible, and then it would have predictors, what words it could possibly be. As you can see, that would be computer, and then they would input the computer. Those are some forms of assistive technology that many of you may be familiar with, that actually Microsoft now has them available on their platforms. Our district, the Morris district, also has those, but we have to put them into the computer. So for some of you, you may have to go to your tech department to ask that they incorporate or they put this into the computers for you. But of course, word banks are not. Now, word banks are essential. It gives, again, those are simple things that we can use to help our students attain the language and feel independent. Without the word banks, it's going to be hard for them. But if we give them options, then they pick the right option, it empowers them. And that's what we want for our students.
Next.
Please. Here we're talking about we're talking about icons. We're speaking about, again, I am talking to you about all different forms of assistive technology. We use icons all the time. Of course, we use thumbs up, thumbs down. These are things that students can look at and readily understand without the written language, so that they can, again, bridge gaps. The other component that is extremely important is being interactive, having interactive slides. One of the interactive slides that I love to use, you have to make sure that, again, a lot of these platforms, they're not replacing the teacher. They're there to aid the student and help them gain independence, and we then pull those away. But in the beginning, we need to get them engaged and confident. So some of the things we might do is, for example, we like to have them interact. And one of the platforms that I use is Word. Could you just click on that one there? If we're working, for example, on contractions, this is a platform that you can use that is for free. Many of the people out there may know. For those of you who don't, I hope you use this. And so here you're just going to start, and you have your students come up one at a time and then drag the contraction over the words over to the appropriate contraction. And once they're done, you could say, all right, let's submit. Are you ready to submit? Are you sure that this is right? And then they would say yes. And for sake of time, we would do this. And then this is just one of many different interactive tools that the students can use to engage them. Anchor charts, we know, everyone, those are old school anchor charts. Old school doesn't mean bad. Old school means old school. We still use a lot of anchor charts. I have many anchor charts at my desk. And of course, they're supposed to be eye level, but I have them at my desk and they should look like this, especially for English language learners, because of the fact that they need those images. So those images are essential. So we're not just putting words, we're putting images so that they can make connections between the words and the image. Next. So what is AI? Well, this is really interesting. And as I did the research for the presentation, I came upon, is this, just take a look. Could you minimize that for just 1 second? Okay, so what I want to show you here, this is 10. Okay, so what I want to show you here is what is Shabbat's for language support. I'm going to give you, I think, a quick example of what this looks like. Could you just, yep, click on that right there. Okay. And this is yet another component of assistive technology that we can utilize as bilingual learners, again, to bridge those gaps. Let's take a look at this demo. Could you start? Can you hear this? Audience, are you able to hear this?
I'm not able to hear it. I can see the words being highlighted.
Okay, so
though.
it is literally, I'm not sure what maybe because of Zoom, I'm not sure why it's not, you can't hear it. But if you go into this platform, what you will see is that it will read. You can download or rather upload a passage into this in English, and it will read it to you in Spanish. That's just a game changer. That's another game changer. And that's a platform that's out there available to teachers. So we need to utilize this assistive technology. Next. And that's modes. Okay.
I think I have to open it again, sorry. I can't see it up there because of that.
Okay. I think it's on 10. No, 10. Oh. So what is adaptive technology? Well, these platforms are smart. They're the smart technology. They recognize when a student is struggling automatically and adjust the difficulty or provide visual hints. For bilingual learners, it means that the software might offer translation or simpler English sentence. The one was structured precisely when it sees that the student is getting stuck. Something to delve into. Take a look at these that are available to you, as well as in real time. Well, we know what the real time feedback is. ChatGPT. When you have a question now, if a student in the past wasn't able to look or understand a math question or a reading question, now they can go into a platform like ChatGPT and utilize it appropriately. And that's part of our job to make sure that they are utilizing the technology. They're not doing this completely independent. They're not in the room by themselves with us. So it's part of our responsibility to make sure that they're using this technology in the way that we want them to be using it, which is to aid them in bridging gaps in English. So when we took, I don't think this is, yeah, so classroom strategy, I didn't see this one, it doesn't show. Do you see where it says, can the audience see where it says classroom strategies on the top, the header of the slide?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So these are different scaffolds. We understand that we have different strategies that we use as teachers. We scaffold instruction. We make sure we break it down. We know that if we have a long passage, we should be scaffolding it. We can chunk the information so that it doesn't feel overwhelming to the child. We may want to just take that information and use a little thing like assistive technology, like a program called DIFT, which is DIFT. FIT. You can take their part of the text, put it into that platform, and then again, you can tell it to please make it so it's more understandable for your child at whatever level it's appropriate for the child's grade level. And that's where this scaffolding and we're talking about making sure we scaffold information. Of course, we know that children learn in many different ways, so we need to make sure that we are using all of those methods, whether it be visual, kinesthetic, or auditory. We need to make sure that we have those for our students. And then once we do those things and we make sure we set up a classroom that mistakes are welcomed, that they are tools for instruction, then we engage and the discourse can begin. I wanted to share with you in the next slide one of my recent, these are examples of the lesson integrations. So for example, here we know that we can pre-teach by using visuals for the students. So just recently, I had my student, can you click on it? I don't know if can you access that? No, yes, I would have to give you permission, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
I really want to show you. Really wanted to show you, because it's really good. There's no way to do it. Okay, so basically, unfortunately, I wanted some of these because of the technical piece here with Zoom. I'm not able to access the Google slide that I have, but the Google slide encompassed a multitude of assistive technology. One, it had the objectives clearly printed. We discussed the objectives. It has visuals. We discuss what the images are. And the Blitz, we're talking about World War II. Our students have limited knowledge about what occurred during World War II. So what do we have to do? We have to help them understand in order to access the text. So we go into YouTube and we share with them an appropriate video of what the Blitz looked like during World War II. My students were fascinated with what was happening in World War II. And not only did we have that, I had the vocabulary. We had things like the blimp. What is a blimp? The kids would never have known what a blimp was during World War II. And yet, by the end of the book, they were able to tell me who fought in the war. They were able to use terms and understand blimp. They understood some of the language that was used during that time in London. And I'm sorry that you're not able to see, but really make sure that when you're trying to reach this child, the student, the bilingual student, we need to make sure that we're reaching them through all of the methods of learning: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. This is 12. So what are the benefits of technology? Well, I think I've mentioned the multitude of benefits that technology has. We know, one, that it tries to level the playing field. We also know that it's not going to replace the teacher. We need to be able to engage our students and make them feel part of the community of our classroom, make them feel like family. And once we've made them feel like family, then we can introduce the technology that will help reinforce their ability to access their knowledge of content and try to bridge the gaps that they have with the new language they're trying to learn. So, as I mentioned, at the end of the day, we aren't using technology just as a sake of being technical. We're using it because of the profound impact it has on a child's identity as a learner. So it's to increase engagement. When a child understands what's going on, they kind of lean in. And assistive technology turns the bystander into a participant. Instead of tuning out students, waiting for the bell, we see students who are excited to click record and share before they finally have the tools because they finally have this assistive technology that's telling them it's not an obstacle. I'm not deficient. I have the tools within me to succeed. That's what assistive technology does for our students. It improves comprehension. This is the academic me. By using the audio, visual, and real-time translations, we kind of ensure that the content actually makes it into the student's brain. We no longer are testing for English levels. We are supporting their ability to understand math and science and literature at grade appropriate level. So the ultimate goal that we want for our bilingual learners is to feel empowered, and I've mentioned this before. That's important. These students that we are having are coming from all different backgrounds, and many of the students here in my district, in our district, are coming from turmoil. We need to meet these students where they are. We want to empower them to feel smart, capable, and part of the world that we have tomorrow. Assistive technology can help them. It is not the only tool, but it definitely helps the child with the challenges, and it gives them the confidence that they're going to need to succeed in the future. Any questions? Any questions?
Can we actually give me permission? They can't see your screen. Can you give me permission and I'll show, do you still want to show that video?
Well, which video? My height? Well, absolutely,
Yeah.
please. So what do I do?
Give me permission, go to your email.
Okay, so I'm going to, right now, I wanted to share with you, since we have the time to do so, I wanted to share with Mrs., can I say okay here?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of gotta get that. So here, and I'm going to minimize that. Oops, not what I wanted to do. Oh, look at how nice that looks. Bear with me. I'm just trying to navigate. See, I'm trying to move this. How do I just want to move this because right under here is where it says share.
You don't have to share that. Just go to your, you have to go to your email and give me permission to open.
Oh, really? Okay. But I have to move this. How do I move this? Oh. Okay, let me just, give me 2 seconds.
Click, go on it. See
Mhm.
the black top bar?
Yes.
Click and drag.
Okay. Yay. Okay, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Well, while I'm navigating this, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have with regard to the technology.
So I have a question.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yay.
So I'm at the high school level,
Yes.
but I'm finding that the kids, anytime they're using any type of technology, phone, computer, whatever, the tendency, the temptation to go right to AI is so great for them, and we're battling it. So how do you handle that?
You see, first of all, we're molding our students. Some of your students already have some habits that are going to be kind of difficult to kind of, to navigate. But I think that with the appropriate monitoring in our district, we do have Go Guardian. So if you want to monitor it kind of like that, you can. I feel like that's a little bit of policing, but that is one method that can be used. That's the reality of it. And if you need to do that, that's what's going to need to be done. But really trying to create a relationship with the student. You know the students. You know your students. You know what students are going to abuse the technology, and you know what students will not be abusing it. And those students, though, you can scaffold that. They can use this, but they were not going to be able to use that. That's one method that can be used. But again, if your district does have Go Guardian, that is one way to make sure. And also just be really upfront with them. There are methods for you to identify whether or not they are using ChatGPT. If you're upfront with them and say, hey, we are going to test to see whether or not this is completely from ChatGPT or if it's actually your work. We're okay with you using it to help you, but if you're using it to complete an assignment with putting little or no effort into it, that's unacceptable for us. And
So,
also, they have to prove it, right? They have to give you the references. So they make sure that they provide the references to support the knowledge that they're giving.
and Go
And
Guardian,
that's from an elementary school teacher's perspective.
the Go Guardian, is that a program that or application that you can see what they're doing on their computers?
Yes.
We have something similar, but what about if you're letting them use their phone?
Well, if they use your phones, they do use their phones. And I'll be honest with you, I can't imagine doing a whole paper on my phone, but students today do it. It's just incredible to me. But, I can't speak to that as well as I can to elementary. I think it's really developing the type of relationship. The only thing I can think of is developing the type of relationship with the students to be able to say to them, I am trusting you with this. And then if it's done again and then done again, then it has to be pulled back. Because there are ways to verify the material. So you can find there could be 2, 3 strikes and you're out. Okay. And then it could be reintroduced again. I think it's not like a punitive thing. It has to be okay. That's, meet the child where they are. They are at the age where they want to get it done and go out with their friends. I get it. But they also have to be committed to the work. And when they're not committed to the work, you are able to verify. But verify. Because if you don't, they'll continue to then manipulate the system.
Right,
Or once they get it, it has to be, I got you, then again, then done.
right.
I hope that helped a little bit. That's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. Okay, so I wanted to share with you, this is what a Google slide looks like, and this is when we're using all kinds of different types of assistive technology. So right here was the title of the book, and I like to give my students the I can objectives, and we have them clearly stated here. And at this level, you'll be happy to hear, high school students, we take notes. So I make sure that these students are taking notes, and they can take them, and it's very clear, and then I can check off. And again, it empowers them to do so. And then on this second slide here, it says, I can understand my text vocabulary. Well, we have the vocabulary from the text here, little image, kind of draw them in to be interested in what's happening, but as well as the vocabulary that they have to have. It's a lot of work. Being a teacher, nobody said it was going to be easy. It is a lot of back work. But when you see your child succeed and they get the grades, that's where that's where I get my enjoyment from. That's where we get our validation from, right? So to be able to look at this and then being able to read this, imagine that I have a 4th grader that's looking at this information already. For the high school students out there, ladies, I'm trying, gentlemen, I'm trying my best to kind of share with them all different parts of history. And this is how you do it when it comes to vocabulary. And then in addition to that, oops, I don't want to do that. Boom, boom, boom. Go back here. So in addition to that, if we,
No sharing.
oh, I'm not sharing? Oopsie. Can I share? How do
Go back to
right here?
share again.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's a learning lesson. Okay, here we go. Share right here. Okay, here it is. Thanks for being patient with me as far as this component is concerned. Here we have, what did we talk about before? Prior, we talked about historical fiction. Well, what do we have here? We have an anchor chart. We have an image. To engage a student, we go into YouTube. We show a visual. Now this says this, but if I usually click on, it will go to historical fiction. And then we discuss historical fiction. So we're not going to listen to that, even though I must say that music was rather enjoyable. I'll have to buy the soundtrack. but the historical fiction, and then you use all the different platforms that you need to. I'm trying to navigate back to this. Here we go. World War II. So our students, when we talk about meeting them where they are and using assistive technology, our students are about seeing you, looking at YouTube, using their computer. So if we're meeting them where they are, show them a video. This is a fabulous quick video that they were completely, and remember, one of the things I make sure of, and this is up to you, I'm not going to take up my entire time with the video. I need to make sure that it fits in with my 40 minutes of instruction. So I make sure that I look through a few, and it's a 3-minute video. Again, that helps because we also need to have them gain their attention, and that helps you have their attention. It's just 3 minutes. It's not a 10-minute video. And this is a wonderful video
of World War II. The war in Europe began in September 1939.
Again, many of these things I know are repetitious to you, and I hope that for those of you that it is not, that you use assistive technology in the way that it supports your students. Again, I use all different videos, so if we're talking about, I can identify narratives, point of view, then I have the anchor chart, and I'm looking thinner than ever here. I love this emoji. I've never looked better. So we use that little emoji to get our students engaged, and then we look at the different platforms that they have, all of which engage the student and help them understand. I stop, I pause, okay? This is literally one lesson, but this, one of the things you can do, if you're looking at this and going, geez, who has this much time to do this? Well, my 3 daughters are married, so that's me. But no, but honestly, we can make time. We can make time. How does this help? Well, I utilize this whole Google thing, this whole Google slide to give to my principal as part of what? My lesson plans. This is my lesson plan. I write in my lesson plan and I put this right in and give this to the principal, and he sees and he goes navigate. Hopefully he navigates through this and sees my hard work. Like I said, hopefully, but nevertheless, my numbers show it. So again, here's all the different, here use millions of different types of technology to help the kids, the students. And then on top of that, we're talking about, we are actually doing somebody wanted, but so then, and this is pretty much, this could encompass 2 weeks to a week of instruction. So my friends, utilize these tools that we have for us. It's a new world out there. And for some of us, it's hard for us to understand how a child can find it difficult to look up a word when all they have to do is say it and it comes up correct, when we had to go to the dictionary and look it up, and it took us a long time. But utilize what they have. Make them accountable for utilizing the technology in a way that helps them, again, empower themselves and bridge the gaps, because technology can do that. Look what it did for my eyebrows. I hope that was helpful. So I do have these on there. You could take a look at them, and please feel free. Lauren knows where I live. I'm room 11, so you can come, she can come visit me if anybody has any questions. Feel free to text me, or not text me, but email me or get in contact with Gloria, my esteemed coworker and good friend. So I hope that helped. I'm going to have to get rid of these eyebrows. It's going to be hard.
All right, I'm gonna mute. Do you want to mute?
I'm going to mute now. Bye, guys. Should I go say goodbye?
Does anybody have questions?
Do we have any questions? Lauren, you want to, anybody want to know how I got these lips? Come on.
Here, I'm in the chat gonna put the Google form for the PD cert, and it's important that people use their personal email because sometimes district emails are blocked.
Thank you guys for letting me join. It was fun.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
you.
everyone. Good night.
Have a
See you,
good
Lauren, soon. Bye. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, stop sharing first.
Thank you.
Okay, let me go see. Hold on. Where am
Did I
I?
click out right here?
Don't leave yet.
Okay, still here, Lauren.
Wait, how do I do that? Okay.